Alright, we're just about ready to get started with our first piano song. But before we do so, there's one more important bit of information I want to review so we can play our first piano song correctly. And this has to do with the concept of time. Now if you remember from our last exercise, we were playing the piano to the beat of 4, and we were playing all our notes in direct synchronization with that time schedule of 4 beats. So that means that all our notes that we were playing were quarter notes, right? Quarter meaning 4, and 4 quarters equal a whole. Now the thing is that all 3 of our piano songs will be played in eighth notes. So that means that they'll be double the speed and half the time value of any notes we've played so far. So for that reason, I want to first explain and demonstrate some of the different time values that musical notes can be played in. Now, in the world of music, every note that you hear, sing, or play on a musical instrument is only going to last for a certain amount of time. And the length of any note is determined by how it measures up with the beat. So let's say if we have a count of 4 beats in our song, and we're going to play whole notes, each whole note we play is going to last for a duration of 4 beats, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so as you can see, the whole note is played and held for the entire length of all 4 beats. And this means the whole note has the largest time value of any other note. And incidentally, the time value of all other notes are merely fractions of the whole note. Okay, so also for example, the half note is only played and held for 2 beats whenever we have a song with a time value of 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now the quarter note, whether you realize it or not, is the note that we've become quite familiar with during our first 10 piano lessons. Because this is a note that has had us playing each note in time with the beat during all of our previous lessons. And provided that you're playing a song in 4/4 time, or common time as it's also known, the quarter note can be played 4 times within each section of 4 beats, just like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if we were to double up the speed and the frequency of the quarter note, we'd get the eighth note. And the eighth note, as I said earlier, is what we need to become familiar with if we're going to play our piano songs correctly. Because the eighth note is going to require us for the first time to play more than 1 note on every beat. So if we play a piece of music in 4/4 time, we need to play 2 eighth notes on each beat we count. And if we count the beat out loud as we play our eighth notes, it also helps if we accent our second note by saying "and," just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, now if we move beyond the eighth note, we start to enter a more advanced fingering arena. The 16th note is usually reserved for more skilled piano compositions, and although our first 3 piano songs will mainly be comprised of eighth notes, we will occasionally mix in a few 16th notes during our third piano song. But the thing to remember about the 16th note is that we need to play 4 of them for every beat we count, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and lastly, I just wanted to touch upon the 32nd note very briefly. Generally, you'll only find this speed demon in more complex piano music, such as in classical or jazz compositions. And there'll be very few lessons, if any, where I'll utilize the 32nd note. However, if we were to play 32nd notes within a 4/4 time structure, we would need to play a whopping 8 notes on every beat we count. And that would sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see how crazy that can start to get. Okay, so now that we've got a basic idea of how musical notes can be played in varying time values, let me show you a more practical example of how these different note time values might sound in a real piece of piano music. Now, keep in mind, this is still a basic demonstration. It's not necessary for you to play anything I'm about to show you here right now. Alright, so with my left hand, I'm going to play a simple 4-note sequence of notes to emphasize our quarter note beat. Now with my right hand, I'll show you how different time values of notes can be played on top of that quarter note beat. Well, I guess you can definitely tell a difference between the various time values that musical notes can be played in, and in particular the difference between quarter notes and eighth notes. Because now I want you to join me on your keyboard as we do a quick warm-up exercise. And this simple assignment will demonstrate very clearly just how we need to play our eighth notes within a 4/4 time structure. Okay, so remembering that we have a count of 4 beats in our song, all our eighth notes are played twice on each beat, just like this. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, so let's get both our hands on the keyboard, and I want you to play this along with me as we play each eighth note in 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, well, you may have noticed that I slowed the tempo down just a little bit so that our beats are counted at a much slower pace. Makes it a little easier for you to get used to it in the beginning. However, you may have also noticed that our fingers are even busier now than ever before, because we're essentially playing more notes per beat at twice the speed. So now that you have a good idea of how quarter notes and eighth notes should sound and how they should be played in 4/4 time, I think it's about time we get started with our first real piano song.